like I said, no better way to start off our 2024 NFL season than by previewing what may be an AFC Championship matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. As you guys know, these two teams met up in last postseason's AFC Championship game in Baltimore. Kansas City came back, took the lead from Baltimore, and was quite dominant during that game. Baltimore had shown quite a few deficiencies during that game, specifically on the offensive end and their ability to get into a rhythm, moving the ball downfield. They had shown an inability to run the ball, and that was due to Kansas City crowding the box. And because Baltimore could not run the ball, it was difficult for them to get into any sort of rhythm throwing the ball downfield, because Kansas City was not worried about the passing attack of Baltimore. So what does Baltimore do during the offseason? They go and get Derrick Henry off the market, who was one of the best running backs on the free agent market. And Baltimore also shores up their defense by drafting a cornerback, Nate Wiggins, in the first round. They also drafted a tackle, Roger Rosengarten, from Washington. And they got some offensive weapons as well. They got Devontae Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina, in the fourth round to attempt to shore up their offense. And listen, Baltimore is attempting to get back to where they were last year. They still have Zay Flowers and Nelson Aguilar and Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews is returning from injury as well. And they still have Isaiah Likely as well. So they have quite a few pieces for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, a player who obviously won MVP last year and is looking to build off of his phenomenal season that he had last year. There's quite a few questions for Lamar Jackson about where he stands in terms of being one of the elite level quarterbacks. I don't believe that there's any more doubt in my mind that Lamar Jackson is unequivocally, no doubt about it, a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. You could argue he's the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. The only I can't realistically think of any quarterback that is better than Lamar Jackson outside of Patrick Mahomes. So that's why I am taking Lamar Jackson as the second best quarterback in the NFL as of right now. However, there's a lot of questions for Lamar Jackson in terms of what he's able to do in the postseason. We know that he defeated C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans last year in the divisional round. However, he came up short based on his standard in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. And I say that to say that there's not many quarterbacks that can perform well against Kansas City and that can say that they defeated Patrick Mahomes in head-to-head matchup in the playoffs. The only 2 quarterbacks that can say that are Tom Brady, who is the best player of all time in the NFL, and Joe Burrow, who many consider to be a fringe top 5 quarterback. I don't believe so, but that's another topic for another day. There is nothing but space and opportunity now for Lamar Jackson to prove to the world that he has taken that next step in his career in terms of being able to elevate, not just play at the same level, but elevate his level of play in the postseason. And that's what it's going to take for him to finally get the recognition and the credit that he deserves, because you're not going to get the credit being Lamar Jackson. You're not going to get that credit. You're not going to get that prestige, that credit that you feel like you deserve until you perform well in the playoffs. And that's something that he hasn't done yet. Will he be able to do that? Will he be able to do that this upcoming season? I believe he's going to have a phenomenal regular season, as he always does. and how he performs in his upcoming postseason, that remains to be seen. But that's going to be his goal, should be his goal for Lamar Jackson, is to obviously get back to the AFC Championship game, but not just get there, but be successful, be proficient, be efficient, elevate his game, show that he's not just a regular season quarterback. And for Kansas City, you're looking at three-peat. This is obviously one of the best dynasties in NFL history. Some people are hesitant to call it a dynasty. I'm not. My criteria for a dynasty is you either win 3 in a row or you win 2 and 3 seasons or 3 and 5 seasons. And that's what Kansas City has done. They've won 2 and 3 seasons, and like I said, they have the potential to be the first team in NFL history to three-peat. There's no doubt as of right now, Patrick Mahomes is the second best quarterback of all time, and I can make the argument that I believe that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time. A lot of people will say that's too soon, but I'm trending already towards Mahomes being the best quarterback of all time. I'm not just off talent, but just win percentage and impact. That's where he's trending for me. And if you're the offense for Kansas City, you get Zay Flowers. Sorry, not Zay Flowers. You get Worthy out of the draft, and you bring back Kelsey, and you bring back Hollywood Brown, and you bring back Mecole Hardman. And if I'm not mistaken, Hollywood Brown is actually out, and he'll be out until September 15th, which could play a factor in this game actually for Kansas City. But Kansas City is primed and ready to win another Super Bowl. And if I'm looking at the AFC, what teams come to mind as teams that could be a possible threat to Kansas City? Baltimore obviously comes to mind. Houston is another team. Cleveland is another team that, in my eyes, could possibly dethrone Kansas City as not just the best team in the AFC, but possibly the best team in the NFL. And this is in Miami, with the offensive five pair that they have down there. I'm not too concerned about Buffalo. I do believe Buffalo's championship window has closed. I talked about that last year. And the Jets, how healthy is Aaron Rodgers? How much does he have left in the tank at this stage in his career? Those are all questions that remain to be seen. In my eyes, Cleveland, Houston, Baltimore, and Miami are the biggest threats to Kansas City. And those are going to be the teams that are going to have the best chance outside of Kansas City of making the Super Bowl, coming outside of the AFC. And with this matchup right here between Baltimore and Kansas City on this Thursday night game, which is going to be on NBC. Right now, ESPN has the over-under at 47.5, and the line is at Kansas City -3. I actually do believe Baltimore is going to win this game. I believe that Baltimore is going to do a great job of establishing the run. I believe that due to Kansas City having a couple of injuries on the line, they're missing B.J. Thompson and they're missing Charles Omenihu. Both are going to be out until October 7th. I do believe that's going to play impact on Kansas City's ability to stop the run, and Baltimore is going to continue to do what they do well all the time, and that's run the ball. Also, like I said, adding Derrick Henry to that backfield with Lamar Jackson just makes them that much more dynamic, and I believe that the weapons on the outside for Baltimore too are going to have a great game. Like I said, with Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, there's and the tight end as well for Baltimore. There's a number of talented pieces on this Baltimore team. And like I said, I do believe that Baltimore will win this game. Right now, Baltimore winning this game by a score of 24-17. Kansas City, once again, last year got off to a slow start, but they peaked at the right time. And I don't want to say that Kansas City is going to get off to a slow start as a whole for the season, but I do believe they're going to have a little bit of a championship hangover going into this game. And I believe Baltimore is going to be able to win this game at home to start out the regular season. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave your thoughts in the chat room. What's more likely for this upcoming season? Kansas City to three-peat, or for Lamar Jackson and Baltimore to win it's his first Super Bowl? Or what are your guys' thoughts in this matchup today or tomorrow, technically? Will Baltimore win at home, or will Kansas City get the road victory? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. But in our next segment, guys, we're gonna be previewing another interesting matchup. This time coming out of the NFC. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. Be right back.